A heavy silence filled the room, the kind that only arrives after long-awaited news. Jenny sat at the kitchen table, staring at the envelope before her. She had been preparing for this moment for weeks, ever since she received the call from the adoption agency. The envelope, plain and unassuming, held the key to her future. Inside were the details of a child, a little boy, who needed a home. Her hands trembled slightly as she reached for it, her mind racing with thoughts of what lay ahead. She had always wanted to be a mother, and now, that dream was within her grasp. Jenny took a deep breath and carefully opened the envelope. A small photograph slipped out first. She picked it up, her heart swelling with emotion as she looked at the picture of a bright-eyed boy with a shy smile. His name was Matthew, and he was 4 years old. The accompanying letter detailed Matthew's background. He had been in foster care since he was a baby, moving from one home to another. Jenny's heart ached as she read about his love for dinosaurs and his dream of becoming an astronaut. She knew in that moment that she was ready to give him the stability and love he so desperately needed. Days turned into weeks as Jenny prepared her home for Matthew's arrival. She painted his room a soothing blue and decorated it with dinosaur posters and star-shaped night lights. She read parenting books and attended adoption support groups, all the while imagining the day she would finally meet her son. When the day came, Jenny stood nervously at the door, waiting for the social worker to bring Matthew. She heard a car pull up and the sound of small footsteps approaching. The door opened, and there he was, holding a worn-out dinosaur toy and looking up at her with wide, curious eyes. "Hi, Matthew," Jenny said softly, kneeling down to his level. "I'm Jenny. It's so nice to finally meet you." Matthew looked at her for a moment, then gave a small nod. "Hi," he whispered. Jenny reached out her hand, and after a brief hesitation, Matthew took it. She led him into the house, showing him his new room and the toys she had bought for him. He was shy at first, but as the days went by, he slowly began to open up, his laughter filling the house and his presence bringing a new sense of joy to Jenny's life. They spent their days exploring the park, reading books about space and dinosaurs, and building a bond that grew stronger with each passing moment. Jenny watched with pride as Matthew blossomed, his confidence growing and his smile becoming more frequent. One night, as Jenny tucked Matthew into bed, he looked up at her with those same bright eyes from the photograph. "Jenny," he said, his voice small and hopeful. "Can I call you Mom?" Tears welled up in Jenny's eyes as she nodded. "Of course, Matthew. I'd love that." As she kissed him goodnight and turned off the light, Jenny felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had always dreamed of being a mother, and now, with Matthew by her side, that dream had come true in the most beautiful way possible.